You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello, and welcome to GHS-TV award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm your host, Shiloh Sanders. Each week, we discuss topics important to our diverse community. This week, we are highlighting education in a non-traditional setting. Mid-South Gifted Academy is an independent school for gifted learners in grade preschool to 12th grade. The goal of Mid-South Gifted Academy is to improve the lives of their students. Here to talk to us more is Claire Van Dremelen, Creative Director and Literacy Specialist, and Elena Wentz, a student at Mid-South Gifted Academy. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So, Ms. Van, where did the idea of Mid-South Gifted Academy come from?
That's a good question. So we have two founders, Jessica White and Jen Morris. And Jessica was a gifted pull-out teacher in the APEX program, which is kind of like Clue if you're in the Memphis City school system. So she was a teacher there and realized that her students really needed a program that was for gifted learners all the time, a full day. And then she met Jen, who has gifted children and was looking for the same thing for her children. And Jen is an entrepreneur, and so together they formed a partnership.
So can you explain to our viewers how its philosophy is different from traditional schools?
Sure, and then I think Elena could probably talk to that too. So we are a mastery strength-based school. We don't have arbitrary age or grade limits. So an example of that is I had a kindergarten student last year who started with me, and I gave him a reading assessment, and he was really a first grade reader, but he was doing fourth grade math. So it did not make sense for him to sit in a kindergarten classroom when really he needed to be accelerated. So what we did was put him in the first grade classroom where he was getting what he needed there, but in math he was able to be in that classroom doing fourth grade math. And he actually finished fifth grade last year as a 5-year-old. So, so those limits, we don't set those. It's personalized for every single student and mastery based, so you're not waiting to learn. Once you prove mastery of a topic, you can move on to something more challenging.
So Elena, why did you choose to attend Mid-South Gifted Academy?
So the first reasons that my parents enrolled me here and that I wanted to be enrolled here was because I found out that I'd be repeating some classes at a different school. So we had already been thinking about enrolling me, but we found out that I'd be repeating math, science, and a lot of English. So I was put here, and I love it here. So.
How long have you been a student?
Since 7th grade.
Since 7th grade. So can you walk us through a typical day at school?
Mm-hmm. So we start with like a soft start. That's a time where you can like talk with friends or like get work done. And then at 8:15 we start math, and math is, we do it online, and it's mastery based, so you can like watch videos if you don't understand something, but then if you do, you can just like zoom right through it. And then we have a break, and then we have humanities. So some weeks we do English and some weeks we do history and geography, and then after that we have science. The high school currently is doing 2 sciences of biology and physics. And then we have something called Idea Lab, which is where it's kind of like a passion project, but it has like a lot of guidance from the teachers. And then lunch, and then after lunch we have independent study, which is sort of an extension of Idea Lab, but it's a different project. And then we also have wellness during that time and advisory meetings. And then after that we have electives, and the electives I'm taking are National History Day and Speech and Debate.
So Ms. Van, I saw that you guys recently turned 5 years old. How has the school expanded throughout the years?
Yeah, so we started in a one-room schoolhouse model. We started with 17 students our first year, and we rented a Sunday school room from a church because that had the sprinkler system that you need to have to be a school. So it met some safety requirements that other businesses don't have. So we met there, and then somehow we expanded our students the next year after being in the Sunday school room. It was so funny. We'd take people on a tour, like, this is our amazing school, and it really was. And people saw that it was amazing because it was the people, not the building, and what we do for the students. So anyway, the next year we were actually able to buy a building, and we bought this adorable house next to Suggs Park in Collierville on the square. And so we had, kindergarten through, I believe, 8th grade at the time there. Now we have expanded more. We serve 3-year-olds. We start at 3-year-olds, and our 3 to 6-year-olds are in a Montessori preschool / kindergarten classroom environment that's amazing. And then we serve through 10th grade now, and we will go through 12th grade. So we are currently building a multi-million-dollar building across the street. So we'll have our middle and high school is the School of Innovation and Design. That's that building, the new building. And then our lower elementary school is the Discovery School.
So I'm sure there are requirements for admission. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Sure. So if students who are watching this, if you feel like a little bit bored maybe with the curriculum, you feel like I've already learned this, but then I'm just sitting through some classes. If you're highly curious, you love to learn, you're a questioner, you have a passion in a certain area that you really want to delve into, we give you time to do that at our school. So, and if you're a parent wondering, like, maybe this school is for my child, I'd say, is your child curious? Do they have passions? Similar questions. But then also, we do have IQ testing that there are certain, you'd need to test into that. We'd meet you. There's an interview process. You would come to tour the school. It's a pretty different environment, so people really need to see it and experience it to see if it's a good fit for them. Even if they know they're a gifted learner, you still need to come in and see the environment that we have. So in our lower school, like, for example, we don't have grades. In the lower school, it's mastery based, so we're not teaching to tests and things like that. And some people don't like that, so you need to see certain things about our school in person.
So Elena, I saw on Facebook that you won an award last year for a documentary that you did. Can you explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, so that was one of my electives that I chose last year, National History Day. And it's a year-long competition that really focuses on allowing students to be historians. So we started in September, and the first 2 weeks was just choosing a topic, and I chose a journalist named Elsie Robinson. And then we were researching for months and months and months, and then I wrote up my script, and I made the documentary, and then I made it to regionals, then we fixed the documentary, and then we went on to state, and then we fixed the documentary again, and then we went to nationals. And it's been an incredible experience. I've learned so much, not just about history, but about writing and critical thinking and problem solving. And there's also been a ton of opportunities to take criticism and learn what to take and what not to take and how to do either. There was a cash prize, but I also got to interview Ken Burns, a famous documentary maker, so it's definitely opened up a lot of experiences.
Well, congratulations on the award, and thank you guys so much for explaining this school to us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To learn more about Mid-South Gifted Academy, visit their website at midsouthgiftedacademy.com. Stick around. Next, we'll learn about a school that gives students with learning differences a place to belong and succeed.
When you're an adult, you need to grab a bow and arrow.
Theater prepares students in a lot of different ways.
I think it offers a great place to learn about yourself.
When you're an adult.
It'll teach you how to be a better communicator, it'll teach you how to work with people better, and it'll teach you how to get outside your comfort zone.
You have to be disciplined, you have to get your work done. So I think it's a really important lesson that I've learned.
Art in society is horrible.
So we offer Intro to Theater, which is obviously a beginner's class. We offer Acting 1, which is a class where we really focus on the techniques in acting.
We're talking about you.
We offer Technical Theater, which is all the behind the scenes stuff such as lighting, sound, set building, construction, things like that. And then we also offer speech, which is a class where you learn how to give informative speeches. You also learn how to communicate interpersonally and intrapersonally.
Thomas Jefferson once stated that all men are created equal.
I think what makes us unique is we hold ourselves to a certain standard and we don't drop below that standard.
When folks are tribal, back before the Bible, they were liable to dance when the crops.
The talent that's here at the school is just so impressive, and it's so exciting to see the students not only work on the stage but behind the scenes.
Just the moon.
It is hard work, yes, but it also is fun and enjoyable.
Challenge!
The specificity of what is taught and required to be learned here in this department is so particular that they're going away with abilities and skills that other schools aren't teaching.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. At Concord Academy, they embrace a student's neurodiversity and give them a place where they can learn, grow, and thrive. Here with us to talk more about Concord Academy is Executive Director Cece Palazzola. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure, Shiloh. Sorry, messed up your name there. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
So can you explain Concord Academy and where is it located?
So we are a school, middle school and high school, for students with learning differences, and we serve grades 6 through 12. We've been around for 40 years. In fact, we are celebrating our 40th anniversary this year, and we are located in Memphis at the corner of Walnut Grove and Mendenhall.
So when do parents come to you guys and says, my child needs help?
So the typical parent who comes to us has been frustrated with just finding services for their child and finding the right fit for a school. So typically they will come and say, you know, they're behind in their learning, or they're not thriving socially, or they're being bullied at school, things like that. And they will come and say, you know, just check out Concord and see if it's a good fit.
Are new students at Concord already diagnosed?
Yes, so we require our students to have a diagnosis. That's a wonderful question, by the way, and a complete psychological workup. So typically our kids, about half or a little more than half of our students are on the autism spectrum. We do have other disabilities such as learning disabilities and ADD, ADHD, things like that. So yes, they are required to have. That was a long answer to your short question, but yes.
So can you walk us through a typical day for the students?
Yes, so we're really set up like a very typical school. We change classes like a school. We have lockers, we have dances, pep rallies, all that kind of stuff. We have a prom for our high school students, but the typical day they come in, we have tardy slips just like anywhere else, and they start their first period class and then they pass to 6 different classes and a lunch. The thing that would be the most different is one thing would be our size. We only have about 60 students, and that's by design. We want it to be small and intimate. We want to be able to really get to know and understand each one of our students and what their needs are, whether that's academically or socially or something else. So back to the typical day, they pass to classes. They're taking a regular high school curriculum. They're taking algebra and history and all of those classes if they're in high school. And the majority of our kids get a regular high school diploma.
Are there any special requirements that your that your teachers have to go through?
Yes, that's an excellent question as well. So our teachers are all state licensed, and they have an endorsement in special education. So they're very highly qualified to do what they do. And it's very unusual for a private school, which we are, to have that level of rigor, I guess, for the faculty. A lot of private schools will, if the teacher knows the subject or they are, have some experience teaching, they hire them whether they're licensed or not. But we do require the license and for them to continue their licensure as they teach with us.
With each student being neurodivergent, are there any special lesson plans that you have for each student?
Yes, that's an excellent question too. So we have an IEP, or the equivalent of an IEP for our students, and if you're not familiar, that's an individualized education plan. We call them individualized learning plans at Concord, just a little bit different name for the same thing. So we actually meet with their parents, and sometimes the students themselves are involved in this depending on their maturity level or their grade level. And we actually lay out a learning plan or create a learning plan together with the family for each individual student. So it's very, very individualized, especially in terms of the accommodations and things like that we do for the students. Some of our curriculum can be modified if needed. For example, the biggest example is for algebra, for example. The Algebra 1 students, if they need to, they can break up Algebra 1 into 2 years and take it over 2 years. And same with geometry or other math classes. So they can do that, and then that allows them to just work at their pace. They're learning the same content, and at the end, they're getting a slightly modified but a high school diploma that they can take on to either a 2-year college or like a community college, or some of our kids that have that diploma actually go to 4-year colleges.
So can you explain life after graduation for your students and the opportunities you give for them?
That's a good question. So it actually looks very, very different for every single kid that comes through our school. So, and I can kind of give you a spectrum of that. On one end, we have kids that graduate with a special education diploma. They might go to a program like Tiger Life, or there's a program at Union University called Union Edge. It's a supported college experience. They're not doing college content. They're working on life skills and like learning how to manage their money and live independently, maybe have their own apartment, things like that. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have kids who graduate with a high school diploma, full out, go to a really prestigious college. Like this past year, we had a student go to Mississippi University for Women. We've had students go to CBU, University of Memphis. We have one at Austin P. So that looks very different depending on the child. Some students, even though they're capable of getting the high school diploma, they really don't have those academic aspirations. So they're wanting to go out into the world of work. So that might also be a path for some of our students. And we do a lot of work towards all the job skills and life skills that they might need to be successful after they leave us.
Thank you so much for explaining and helping us understand a little bit better. To learn more about Concord Academy, visit their website at concord-academy.org. We have to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll highlight a school working to help hearing impaired children navigating the noisy world.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
I'm your moderator, Brandon Sewell, coming to you live from the campus of Germantown High School.
So GHS-TV tries to model a real working station.
I really thought it was cool when I first started studio and all the opportunities that it was able to provide for me.
That would be 36 out of 36. It's a rigorous class that demands a lot from students.
At times you are going to be thrown into the fire to where you're just going to have to figure it out yourself.
Which is really great because then we gain more knowledge. Our teachers will give us how to start, but then we're left to make up the whole entire process.
It just seems to me it's not enough space in the beginning. If it's not, let's figure out what we can do.
They can be a producer, they can be a director, they can work graphics and learn audio. They can go out and shoot field reports.
Akila, back to you.
And it's a challenge to throw them into the environment and say, here's a camera, go out and record this interview and some B-roll. But those are the challenges that grow students to do bigger projects.
Welcome to Red Devil Newsbeat.
In GHS-TV, we have a variety of shows. We have Crosstalk.
Hello and welcome to a new season of GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk.
We have Insider, which is all about Germantown.
Welcome to GHS Insider, the show that's all about the G.
Cut to One and Q Talent.
Wake up, Germantown. It's Wednesday, April 5th. I'm Colin Ewing.
Some things that I've learned from this class is that how to work as a team.
We learn how to communicate better with people.
Something I'll take with me from in the future is their slogan, check, double check, and check again.
There's so many different things you can do here. I would say take risks. Push yourself further than you think you can go, and we will help guide you there.
Go Red Devils!
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. At Memphis Oral School for the Deaf, teachers empower deaf children to listen, learn, and talk. No sign language is used. The school is one of only 35 in the world with the goal to advance excellence in listening and spoken language education. Here to talk more about the school is Chief Executive Officer Andrea Baird.
Hi, Shiloh. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm doing good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad to be here with you today.
So for those who are not familiar with the school, can you give us a little history background?
Yes. Well, we're probably going to need a little bit more than 7 minutes. But so MOSD has actually been in the community for over 60 years. It's changed locations, and actually the location that we're at is right here in Germantown. It originated, I believe, in downtown Memphis, and it's moved, and again, it's here in Germantown, and it's been here for several years. However, we do serve all of individuals within the Shelby County, and actually we serve individuals that are from Arkansas and Mississippi as well. So we serve a wide range of individuals throughout the Mid-South.
So when people usually hear MOSD, they probably think of sign language, but that's not all you guys do. So how do you guys accomplish teaching students how to speak and hear?
Yeah, so one of the main goals of the Memphis Oral School for the Deaf originally was really the focus was on children of the deaf, children that could not hear, and really what we wanted to do was bring language, listening spoken language to those children. Families wanted to, just really give their children an opportunity other than sign language. And with hearing devices that were coming out as early as the 1940s, 50s, technology advances have come a long way since then. Now, as many of us know, cochlear implants have just exploded with technology, and they are getting smaller and smaller. So a lot of families have elected to, elect surgery for their children and have decided to have their children be implanted with cochlear implants, which have enabled their children to be able to hear. And their hearing is a little bit different. And so MOSD is able to provide their children with an opportunity to be able to have that listening and spoken language provided for them. And because their ears don't hear like both of ours, they need to be in an environment where that listening spoken language can be provided to them in a way where their cochlear is developed in a way where language can be relayed to them and developed like we would if we were, going to school and learning language for the first time. And so it's really exciting work. It's really nice to be able to see children coming in for the first time. A lot of our families are coming in just out of surgery. We're really fortunate to have a lot of our families come in. We have programs for our babies that are just right out of surgery, and I say right out of surgery. They've, they've come from surgery, maybe a couple months out of surgery. In our program, Sound Beginnings, we work with parents from anywhere from 0. The babies are 0 to about 1 year old. 2.5 sometimes, and then they transition from that program to Sound Transitions, and those children are typically about 1.5 to about 2.5 years old. And if everything works out, then those children transition from the Sound Transitions program to our day school, which is our pre-K program. And typically those children stay with us until they go into mainstream kindergarten. And when I say mainstream kindergarten, I mean mainstream kindergarten with their hearing peers. So hearing individuals just like me and you.
So are students required to get the implant if they want to come to your school, or is it an option?
It is not required. Many of our children actually either have a cochlear implant or a hearing device, like a hearing aid or a BAHA, which is a bone-anchored hearing aid. Most of our students will have some type of hearing device. And while it's not per se required, it does definitely help us being able to provide them the services that we provide them with regard to listening spoken language.
So how is your curriculum at your school different from a traditional school?
Well, considering the demographic that we work with 0 to about 5-year-olds. We work with a curriculum right now. It's a theme-based curriculum, but we're actually looking towards possibly changing that curriculum. And right now we're looking at a few different curriculums, but we really center around, again, a theme-based curriculum. So we bring about just a variety of different really neat exercises and fun activities for our kids. And when I say fun, I say fun. We keep them busy and keep them active. Our teachers have a lot of fun. We bring in community partners in. Germantown Police Force will come in. We have big giant fire trucks that will come in. We have a group called Mustangs of Memphis that will come in, and they'll bring their cool cars and they'll have a little parade for us. So we just have a lot of just a variety of different things for our students just to keep them, excited about what the possibilities are out there, but also to introduce them to a lot of different things and sounds that they probably wouldn't normally get in a traditional pre-K program.
Thank you so much for joining us and explaining MOSD to our viewers.
You're welcome, absolutely.
To learn more about Memphis Oral School for the Deaf, visit their website at mosdkids.org. I want to thank all of my guests for providing new insight on some of the non-traditional schools in Shelby County. For more information on our program, please check us out on the web at GHS-TV.org, where we are streaming live 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Shiloh Sanders, and from all of us here at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.